Warrior Sisters. Happy Monday. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. Getting ready for my 5-day challenge. I think I've set the dates. It's going to be the end of this month, 24th through the 28th. I think I'm going to have it around 5:30 p.m. I'll set an event for you guys. And I also have a freebie for you as well. So I'm getting all that set up. I'm super excited. But I wanted to share with you where I'm at. So with everything that's going on and I'm preparing to get this going and everything. Today is my wedding anniversary. And as you know, like my husband passed away 5 years ago. And it seems like when I think about it, hasn't been that long. And, but it feels like forever at the same time. And so I never know how I'm going to feel until that day actually comes. Each year it's different. And, grief hits you in different ways. Sometimes you're fine. The next minute, like you're totally falling apart, sobbing in a fetal position, and, that's just how it is. That's life. And, I think about how much I felt alone after he passed. I thought I was going through it alone, and just the way that people reacted, I didn't feel very supported, and I felt like I was the only one that ever had that feeling, I felt like, no one else was going through what I was going through. Life was still going on for them. And I realized, in my meditation teacher training this week, we're studying, the impermanence and how the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. It's a Buddhist teaching. And one of the teaching is this lady lost her son. He passed away, and she was trying desperately, going door to door, trying to find someone who knew how to bring him back to life. And she went to the Buddha and was like, can you help me? And he was like, well, go and get 5 mustard seeds from families who have never lost anyone, who's never died. And so she tried to do that, and of course she couldn't. And she realized, everyone goes through loss. Everyone, there's no one that doesn't have someone who's died in their family ever. And so, you realize, you're not alone. You're not the only person. I'm not the only person who's had this happen to me. Other people have lost people, and so it's just something to think about. It's easy for your mind to separate you, to try to, get you to feel like you're alone and isolated. And so it feeds into that, and it pushes, sometimes it drags you down into isolation and stuff. So, and that is major suffering on your body suffers, your mind suffers, your spirit suffers. Emotionally, you just get pulled down. And so feeling all of those feelings is important, and acknowledging that and accepting that. So the title of this video is The Way to End Suffering. And one of the first ways to end suffering is to accept that suffering is a fact of life. From childhood, we get read these fairy tales and stories about happily ever after, and most movies end with a happy ending. And, Disney especially, oh my God, from an early age, we're watching this stuff. And so that it fuels our culture, what we're used to, we're expecting, things to get to a certain point, and it's going to stay that way. And the happiness is never going to end, and that's just not true. I mean, it's something that we can have already before we do anything. It's achievable to be happy, but to expect something to happen after something else happens to make us happy, and for it to stay that way forever, it's not going to happen. And so that's one major thing that you can do to like help yourself, is acknowledge that it's part of life. Accept that there's suffering. You're gonna feel suffering. Other people are gonna feel suffering. That's not something that's just not gonna happen. And so all the times when you think back on your life, like, God, why did that happen to me? You know, why me? Why not you? Because these things that happen to you, there's always a gift in it. There's always a lesson in it. And what are you going to do with it? And so for me today, I could totally suffer and feel, you know, and I do. I feel the moments of sadness, you know, when I think about it, because I love my husband and I miss him so much. And now I'm going to get all teary. But like, you know, we had a plan for the rest of our life. And then he passed away and it was gone in an instant. So knowing that impermanence exists and being able to accept that suffering exists, and to know that the cause of suffering is from attachment to things, attachment to people, attachment to desires, attachment to outcomes. And so it ceases when that ceases, when you can acknowledge that it's there and it exists, and that shit happens sometimes. And you can also know that suffering is optional. Like, you can choose to go down that rabbit hole. You can choose to let the dark night take you, or you can choose your own way. You can choose not to suffer. You can do other things and realize this is going to happen. Shit happens. I'm going to step over it and not get it on my shoe. So, you know, what can you do that's going to help you to end your suffering today? And what can you do to help other people who are suffering? And so the freedom from suffering is possible if you can acknowledge at least that first step. And there's more steps to come. It's a lifetime of learning. But if you can start with just accepting that it exists and that nothing stays the same and nothing is permanent, that is going to help you so much in the long run. And you're really going to be able to like look at things that happen in a different light and be able to move past them. Like, that's one way that you can actually, you know, stay up and, you know, keep moving, always forward, never backward. And so one thing I would like for you guys to do is just accept this. Try to accept this and appreciate those that you have in your life. You know that you will be separated from them at some point. Whether your kids go off to school, whether your hubby goes to work, or whether you've lost someone in your life. And acknowledge that and appreciate what you have. And when you go and someone leaves you today, like say, or maybe they already left because it's like the morning they went to work or school or whatever. When they come home, as soon as you see them, your child, your husband, if you live alone, the first person that you connect with today, give them a hug and say, I'm so glad you're here and I missed you and I love you. And just hug them, you know, love on them a little bit. And they'll be like, maybe if you don't normally do that as soon as they walk in the door, it might feel like, okay, what's going on, you know? What do you want? But just do it, because it's going to make them feel so good. And you're going to feel so good too. And even when like you leave and you come home, you know, go up to your sweetie and give them a big hug. Go up to your child and give them a big hug, if you don't already do that. Because every moment is impermanent, and just treasuring what you have in this moment and appreciate the gifts that you have in this moment really helps you to live a fuller, richer life and be happy now. And so I just wanted to share this with you today. It's kind of a hard week for me, but I'm going to get through it because I know that this too shall pass, and they're just dates. Thursday is my mom's birthday, and as many of you know, she passed away last year on Mother's Day, and so it can be a difficult week. It's my first full year without her, but I know that these are things that I'm learning along the way that's making it not as hard as it was like 5 years ago. I'm learning so much. Like, grief, it sucks sometimes. It really sucks. But at the same time, it brings up so much that needs to be healed. It's like a whole journey in itself that kind of brings up stuff from your childhood, stuff from your past, who you are, like who are you without these people in your life, and how do you move forward? How do you live a life that you really didn't plan on living on your own? I didn't plan on being a single mom again, So all of these things are teachings. It teaches you. And when you're open to learning and asking the questions, like what is the gift in this? What is the lesson in this? It totally helps you to heal, and it also helps you move forward. And so the next time this happens, someone passes in your life again, yeah, it hurts like hell, but also you deal with it differently. I've dealt with my mom's passing a lot differently. I don't know, better. I feel like it's been a little bit easier to deal with than it was with my husband. And I don't know if time heals all wounds, but I feel like just the things that I've been working on with myself, the questions I've been asking myself, my higher power, the universe, and the answers that I'm getting, and the experiences that I'm having, and just the teachings that I'm stumbling upon has really helped me to grow. And so just pay attention to that. Be aware of that. We are so aware. Everybody is so much more aware than they think they are. It's not even funny. And so I just wanted to share this today. It's big on my heart, and there's so much for us to appreciate in what we have now. And so I just want us to focus on that this week. And so just wanted to share this with you. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful Monday. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.